be doing a psychological analysis of the character Jack Napier. Now, Jack Napier is a character that most people don't know until you learn his alternate identity, but we will get to that in just a minute. Now, to give a little background on Mr. Napier, Jack Napier was a failing comedian trying to support his wife and unborn child. He was also an former employee of a place called Ace Chemicals. Now, to make ends meet, he joined a crime ring as a character called the Red Hood to make ends meet. So basically, this was a crime organization wherein they would take people who were down in their luck and would have them dress up as this character, the Red Hood. He's kind of a supervillain, and have them commit crimes for them. So basically, what they wanted him to do was they wanted him to take them through the place where he used to work, Ace Chemicals, and help them to get through to rob the playing card factory next door. This all makes sense in a minute. However, the morning of the heist, Napier got the news that his family, his wife and unborn child, had been killed in a tragic fire, so he had to deal with the sudden loss of his family and the loss that came with that. So naturally, he wanted to get out of the gang. However, the gang would not let him escape until he did the crime. So one thing that we need to know is, one thing that you all need to know is, Ace Chemicals is in a place called Gotham City. And where there is Gotham, there is Batman. So, starting to connect the dots, I hope. So, on encountering the criminals, Batman began to stop them. The superhero Batman, he began to stop them. And though Napier was trying to get away, he was on a high balcony where he slipped, falling into a vat of chemicals. Well, the chemicals swept him through the pipe system of the plant and washed him out in the sewage of the plant. So this, because the chemicals got on his skin, his hair, and in his throat, a few changes began to happen in Napier. Due to the effects of the exposure, his skin turned white, his hair color turned an evil green, and his voice was damaged. His mind was also fractured, and the stress of this loss and effects of the chemicals shattered his sanity, turning him into the most iconic supervillain of all time, none other than the Joker. So, we're going to be going over the psychological analysis of the Joker and what makes him tick. For those of you who know that voice, I will be using it here and there throughout the presentation to give a little bit of effect to it. So, first off, as a brief description, the Joker his age is between the ages of 30 and 45. Occupation, supervillain. Hobbies are a little greedy to get into in a psychology class, but he is a master criminal and a mass murderer. His purpose is getting revenge on Batman and fulfilling his role as an agent of chaos. And as you can see here, these are all different interpretations of the Joker, mostly cartoons, but with their voice actors. As a voice actor myself, I enjoy seeing that kind of thing as well. So, on to psychological disorders. Now, the first and foremost, oddly enough, he does not have many psychological disorders. He has primarily schizophrenia. And discussing his positive symptoms, first and foremost, he has severe hallucinations. Now, this is from the Arkham games, if any of you have played those. And as you can see briefly here, he's having a hallucination from the Ace Chemical incident of Batman, and he views Batman as this monster that ruined his life. So his whole purpose is getting revenge on Batman, and to do that he wants to cause as much carnage as possible. He has delusions of grandeur by being the clown prince of crime himself, and due to that he has social withdrawal, and even though that's a negative symptom, I put it on this slide, because he spends months and months and months preparing these intricate schemes in order to get back at Batman. Along with that is his peculiar dress, the classic purple tuxedo, and if I could afford it, I would have worn one today. Also, that classic inappropriate effect, and where he laughs at the problems of others and causing others pain, and I promise by the end of this, I will do a proper Joker laugh when I have time. So, on to his negative symptoms, though, he has a deep connection to the ideals and his fight against Batman. So if anything comes in between that, he actually becomes very depressed. As is seen in this picture, a scene from the animated series, in this scene, Batman is believed to be dead, wherein the Joker loses all desire to commit crime. Because in his words, without Batman, crime has no punchline. So, onto that, he also has, though it's not frequently seen, he has dissociative identity disorder in some interpretations. It has never actually been demonstrated, but in this interpretation, if any of you have ever seen the show Young Justice, he was featured in that episode, kind of stunk. But he said he had multiple personalities. So, what he really has are personality disorders, which are his parts of his personality that are bad, but he does not want to change, and in fact embraces entirely. And the first and foremost of this is narcissism. All actions are performed for his own enjoyment, and his belief in absolute superiority over everyone and all other criminals is very present. On top of that, he has no tolerance for imitation. So if you're thinking on going into crime in the Gotham area, I suggest you don't go clown theme, because he will not take that well. Along with this is antisocial personality disorder, which is a complete disregard for the well-being of others, as well as a skill in manipulation of others to his own ends, i.e. Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn was a psychiatrist who was trying to treat the Joker, but due to no one knowing his past, he came up with a lot of tragic stories to convince her to actually end up helping him escape. Now, it worked a little too well because she got a little bit too devoted and actually fell in love with the Joker and was then devoted from his cause there, so she helps him in his desire to spread chaos and cause others harm. However, another personality disorder that conflicts with this idea is borderline personality disorder, wherein he has severe emotional reactions and is highly impulsive, which leads to fits of rage and abusive behavior. He's not a good person, no matter what anybody says. They try to bring up this Joker and Harley relationship, but it actually is a very bad thing, at which point we have the classic, back to the impersonation, we have this classic scene, the Harley, the classic Joker scream. His overall mentality is embracing Carl Jung's theory of the shadow. And Sigmund Freud came up with it originally, Carl Jung refined it, in that the belief that within our consciousness we have a part of us that is evil. The id does whatever it wants. The shadow does all that is evil. So in that, he believes that because he had one horrible day that wrecked his sanity forever, he wants to cause that same chaos to others, and therefore believes in a life without rules and strives to breed as much chaos as possible. So possible treatments, it gets tricky. It gets very, very tricky. Because talk therapy is difficult due to lying prowess and lack of desire to improve. He's very manipulative. He's a master liar. So it's hard when he doesn't want to improve to actually improve in that way. Medication would offer a temporary solution, but it would yield little results beyond restraint. Yes, you could sedate him, you could do something like that. You might be able to alter his behavior, but pray that the medicines hold out, because if they don't, Lord help you. Definitive solutions are more controversial, such as electroshock therapy, ECT, electrical current therapy, psychosurgery, or other forms of biological alteration, wherein you have to it'd be like lobotomy, something like that is very controversial because it gets rid of the good and the bad. The question is, though, does he have any redeemable qualities? And that leads to the ultimate question, can the Joker be cured? And that is a big question because he represents more of an idea than an actual person, that idea of chaos. But with this, I basically come to the near conclusion of my presentation. However, to further solidify my point, I've brought in professional help for all you Bat fans out there, and that comes in the form of a very dear friend of mine, renowned psychiatrist, Dr. Harley Quinn.
Good day, students of Somerset Community College. My name is Dr. Harley Quinn. I'm here to discuss briefly my final analysis on my former patient called the Joker. It is my professional opinion, after years of studying his behavior and multiple therapy sessions, that the Joker is, in fact, untreatable. But honestly, why would anyone want to fix him? He's perfect the way he is. And if any of you say otherwise about my Mr. J, I'll just have to come there myself and change your mind. See you soon, Puddin'.
So, that concludes my presentation. I wish you all a very good day and hope that you'll have a laugh.